episode 61 of the WarDawg Trail podcast. I am your host, Sergeant WarDawg, and I have with me again, big felon with firearms. You saw him in episode 61 teaching you about gun restoration and the book that you can purchase to help you figure out what is actually required in your area and in your state. But now, for this extra part of episode 61, we're going to talk about military convictions and how you can also get your military convictions possibly overturned in order to get your gun rights restored.
All right, so with the
Big,
military convictions, it's the same as basically the federal process. If you got a federal conviction, it's possible to have your gun rights restored, but you have to wait a mandatory 5 years after release of parole. And my guys, with military convictions, you in order to have your gun rights restored, you have to pardon. And I'm getting this information out of my book, out of every single book. If you are requesting a pardon of a court-martial conviction only, you should submit a complete petition directly to the Secretary of the Military Department that had the original jurisdiction of your case. So that same pardon that you would fill out for a federal application, instead of sending it to the president, you would send it to the military department of your conviction that has jurisdiction over your case. Enlisting your response to questions 2 through 6 of the petition and information concerning your court-martial trial and conviction. And then it provides the application in the book, but it has the addresses for the U.S. Army. You will use the Secretary of Army, Department of the Army, that's OTJAG-CLD, that's in Washington at the Pentagon. For the U.S. Navy / Marine Corps is the Office of the Judge Advocate General Common Law Division, Code 20. That's in Washington Navy Yard, D.C. For the U.S. Air Force, you got the Secretary of the Air Force. That's in the Joint Base Andrews Naval Air Force in Maryland. And it says pardon of a military offense will not change the character of the military discharge. An upgrade or other change of military discharge may only be accomplished by the action of the appropriate military authorities, but a pardon will leave disabilities based on convictions. So disabilities based on your convictions would be your Second Amendment. So if you have military offenses or dishonorable discharges and you are no longer able to exercise your Second Amendment, this book right here is for you as well. Felon Gun Rights Restoration, the complete guide. You know what I'm saying? It has the full application in the book for you to practice on. And some of the questions that you can expect in the book. Of course, your demographic information such as name, address, phone number, date of birth. They're gonna ask for the offenses that you're seeking clemency for or seeking a pardon for. They're gonna ask about your prior and subsequent criminal record, your biographic information, your marital status, your children. You know what I'm saying? These presidential pardons and the presidential pardon, the federal pardons, the military pardons go into very extensive details about you, your background, and your life. And then, of course, they're going to ask about your military history, substance abuse, employment history. So, again, if you fall within that criteria, as if 5 years have passed since your release of probation or parole, and you have a military offense hindering you from exercising your Second Amendment, you can apply, you can pardon, you can petition, and I encourage you to do so.
all right. That's what's up. Now,
We didn't get to touch on that in the first segment of episode 61, and I felt I'm on a live with a Marine. You know what I'm saying? Why
Yeah.
I touch bases on information that you and your supporters and everybody else who done service for the country, why wouldn't I share that information as well? It slipped past me. I don't know why. I don't know how it did, but we back here now to make sure that
Yeah.
they get the information that they need as well.
Yeah. I really appreciate that, boss. I'm
Definitely.
um I'm gonna package this separately, and spread it across my social media and everything. Because it's really gonna help individuals in the military that I hadn't even thought about would need
Mm,
to, have some of their military situations looked at until they can get their Second Amendment rights restored. So I really appreciate you taking the time though to come back, boss.
definitely.
All right, all right, all right. Well, this has been an extra portion of episode 61, where we went live with Big Felon with Firearms, teaching you about gun restoration and having your Second Amendment gun rights restored as a felon. Thank you for coming on the show again. Glad to have you on. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and say, man, I'd like to have you on the second time, to be honest with you.
I'm with it. I'm here with you. Anytime you want me on, I'll get on here. I'm with it.
All right, because more people need to hear what you got going on, bro. And that's real. All right, this is Sergeant WarDawg signing off. And also signing off from Richmond, Virginia, we have Big Felon with Firearms. You got any last words for everybody?
Man, be productive, be proactive, and get it done. Don't be afraid of hearing no. You got to be able to surmount one failure and move to the next without being discouraged. You ain't going to always get yes the first time. Just get it
All
done.
right. And tell everybody where they can find you at online.
On YouTube, Felon with Firearms. On Instagram, hashtag Felon with Firearms. On TikTok, the same thing, hashtag Felon with Firearms. Or just go on Amazon and look up Felon Gun Rights Restoration. You'll be able to find me, you'll be able to contact me, you'll get the information you need to make your life more conducive for you.
All right. Salute. This has been the WarDawg Trail, episode 61. With your host, Sergeant